Welcome back to Good Moms, Bad Choices.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Mila.
And Happy New Year. I mean, I know it's the second week, but it's still Happy New Year
Girl,
to me.
it's going to be 22. It's going to be New Year all month long. I got to adjust.
I know. How's everyone feeling? I hope everyone stepped into this year feeling good, feeling positive, you know, shaking off 2022. And all that shit.
Yes, walking with their confidence, walking in their purpose and their passion this year. I feel like this is the year for that. I feel like I've been pumping myself up the last 3 months. Like, you were that bitch. Just so at this very moment, I could be like, I'm that bitch. So I'm just really been working on that. How about you?
Yeah, same. Yep. I believe it. I really do. So all of the positive affirmations that I did all year last year through the show and privately, I feel like have made me actually believe, yes, I am in fact that bitch.
I agree. The affirmations help. It helps that we've accomplished a lot of things in real time this year. So every time I'm like feeling any remotely down, I'll be like, bitch, do you know who the fuck you are? I'm an author, bitch. That's me talking to myself. I have this podcast studio, bitch. CEO.
Speaking of which, if you are watching on YouTube, which I hope you are, you've subscribed to our YouTube channel because you want to see our beautiful faces and our cute ass outfits and our guests who I'm about to introduce. YouTube, relax.
We're very fine, and we always have fine guests.
We are in our new studio, so make sure you go follow good.goodmedia on Instagram. And if you need a podcast studio to record at, or you want to start a podcast, we're the place to do it. Located in Studio City / Hollywood Hills.
Come on over, baby.
We can't guarantee that we will be here, but we might swing by.
Shorty, swing my way.
Okay, all right.
Now you didn't.
Jesus Christ.
You were doing all it's your fault. You had all the cues. Sure look good to me. Now would you? No.
You have such a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
It's positive affirmations for you. Until I believe it, I'm going to keep saying it.
Thank you, because it's true. You should. You heard me at karaoke at Sebastian's birthday. Don't play with me, bitch.
Anyway, I'm really excited because you guys, we have a special guest, and it's been a while since she's been on our show, and you guys fucking loved her last episode, and she's just so bomb. She's so amazing. We have Britteny Floyd-Mayo, aka founder of TrapYogaBae, aka confidence coach, aka fine ass mama, aka just the bomb, diggity bomb. That's all I got. Sorry, shit.
Yep.
Talk to me nice. Like that's an affirmation right there. Like
talk
literally,
to me nice.
That's every day. You look in the mirror, talk to me nice. You're talking to somebody, like they're like, hi, talk to me nice.
Did we just start with our affirmation?
Yeah, I accidentally on purpose.
Talk to me nice. I'm telling yourself that. It's just how I was telling you. I'd talk to myself nice. So talk to me nice.
I love that.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We
It's so
missed
good to
you.
be here. I love it. And like, let me just like point out, we did the thing where everybody's like, I love you. It was so great meeting you. We're going to be the best of friends. And we fucking failed miserably last year.
I know.
But it is a new year, a new day. And we are the same dope ass bitches we were before. So
Even doper.
We like, I'm declaring in front of all of your amazing tribe that we will give them the three-way
The menage.
The three-way friendship they've been waiting for.
They've been waiting for and deserve.
Yes.
Like, I said it, so now it's real.
Well, I need more
As
of
we
you in my life.
proceed.
I need more of you in my life. I feel like every time I see you, you get us together.
She
so.
really does. And you guys, I don't know if you've checked in on our first episode of the year, or a little bonus episode of the year. Brittany guided us through a meditation, of course, just as she did last year and just as she did this year. So you can listen to it in audio form, or if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can watch this beautiful, amazing meditation around confidence and walking in your authentic self. So thank you for that.
It was my delight.
I loved it.
Yes.
We also have one for the kids. So if you take time for yourself, make sure you throw that on for the kids too. We had Naja come on, like she does the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, too. But this is our first time doing with the kids in video. And I thought she suggested that, and I love that because I think sometimes kids really need a visual. Mm-hmm. So seeing our kids doing the meditation with Naja was really cool. And shout out to her business, Yoga Little. And I just think that bringing your kids into mindfulness. We always start
Early.
the year that way, but let's try to like keep it going all throughout the year. I know that I guess, you know, I've failed in ways in this space. I do a lot of like self-caring and really tapping into myself sometimes, and I forget to bring Irie along with me. So I am committing to that this year with my daughter. So
I love it.
I'm also saying that we're giving you the 3-way friendship, and also Irie is going to be levitating by 2024.
I'm
Period.
just saying, Christmas is over, but y'all are just out here just giving gifts. Like,
It's Christmas all year round. We're Oprah.
yes.
So how are you? How's life? How's life been lifing?
Phenomenally well.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, like it's been coming up a lot. The way that I want to express my joy and to share it. And sometimes I have like these moments where I'm like, girl, you are so fucking annoyingly happy. And then, and then I'll be like, and bitch, some people are so annoyingly miserable. And it's okay to counterbalance that energy. And I refuse to be like, I'm okay, when like, no, bitch, I'm great. I'm great. I hope you're great too.
That is so true. I feel like sometimes we like I realize that people thrive in like not mediocrity.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Mediocrity and just like, I mean, because we've all done it. Like, why are they so fucking happy? Like, what the fuck? So fucking, what do you think, you're a cheerleader? But also like,
Yep.
but as I like get into this place, I've talked about this, like where I feel so at peace and like everything's going well. I'm like, I want to be angry because I don't know what else to do. And then also I'm like, God, I'm so in love on the internet. I need to chill. Like, those bitches get on my nerves. I'm like, you are that bitch. You are happy. You're in love. Like, that's it. I can't
And
like,
unapologetically so.
I can't douse it down, you guys. Why the fuck would I? It's like you said, I'm either going to be like miserable. I'm not going to be fucking happy. I've been miserable. I'm so happy to be on this side, but like really acknowledging it and sitting in it. And I think sometimes people feel like that's like conceited or like over the top. But people go over the top to complain and stress
all day.
And I notice when people like talk to me about shit that I don't care about, I'm like, this seems like I don't care. You know, like I only want to hear about joy. Not only because I know there's like both, you know, but I have really like that reminded me how much I've been working on being present in the peace and just like I'm peaceful.
You know what I've noticed is like my recovery is faster when I like experience something like bad in my life or something like that would have like taken me out for a month or 2 or 3. Like that's how I know like the work that I've been doing over the last 5 years, even just on this show, like I recover faster. I'm like, all right, how can I get to the joy faster? Like I'm not going to sit here in this wallow. This does not serve me. Like I'm not a victim. And so how can I get to the recovery faster? I mean, granted, you have to feel the feels, and I do that too, and I allow myself to do that. But I think a lot of people really like enjoy the wallowing.
Oh, for sure. I think a lot of times people are comfortable with their problems, and I think it's easy for us to be like, "Why is she so happy?" or "Goddamn, that's so annoying," or her happiness isn't real. You get that a lot. I get a lot of people accusing me of not being as happy as I seem. And to me, I think that really points to what you believe is possible, right? Maybe before you were in this beautiful, healthy relationship that I love watching y'all be in. Oh my God.
I'm so happy.
Right? I'm so happy for you, dog. But before, you would see couples and our minds would say shit like, bet they probably cheating. Like a guy would post his girlfriend and like some minds will be like, he probably posted her because he got caught doing some stupid shit. Or, you know, somebody sends flowers to the job and they're like, what did he do this time? And because we did not know that people can just be happy in private, in public, in general. And so, you know, as we're talking to your tribe and my bae friends that are listening, if you find yourself annoyed by somebody else's joy, ask yourself, is it because you don't believe that can be experienced? When you're questioning what other people are feeling, it might be because you've never had that feeling yourself. Because now that you know what that self-love and what that healthy love feels like, you can recover faster because you're willing to do the work to get back to a place that you know it exists. It's hard to want to heal when you're like, I'm gonna do all this healing and then what? Well, you know now, I'm gonna do all this healing and then I get back to being happy and I get back to the bag and I get back to love and I get back to all of the things that...
Because I've been to the mountaintop.
Yeah.
But if you've never been there, if you've only been in the middle or the bottom of the mountain, that's all you've ever experienced, it feels uncomfortable. You almost hate on yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I hating on myself? It's my life. But it's just like, yeah, like questioning shit, expecting something to happen, just catastrophic to change, or like living in scarcity and like you're always worried or stressed about some shit because nothing ever feels safe. Like I realize like when I'm feeling safe and I'm feeling happy, like I've had to learn to be comfortable in it and like okay, I'm cool. Everything's cool, you know? And I mean, obviously I didn't recognize that was necessary until you come into a place where everything's starting to fall together. But yeah, like it's crazy. It does require that you reflect on yourself and what you've seen, what you've experienced, because like, especially in family dynamics, if you've never felt like your parents were at peace or your household was at peace, you're going to grow up into a world of chaos and not even know why you're constantly like comfortable with the chaos.
Right. And when you don't know peace and all you know is that like turmoil, you convince yourself that like, this is what life is, right? There is no whatever it is that you thought you wanted. It doesn't exist. And so then you can be okay in mediocrity or that okay. And then here comes along a bitch having the thing that you said didn't exist. And now I hate you because you are proving the thing that I fear, which is it's not that happiness is elusive and can never be found. It's that I haven't found it. How dare you smear in my face and fuck up the illusion that I've given myself. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, when happy bitches irritate you,
I realized like not too long ago, I remember like I grew up in the Valley and I always was like, majority of my friends growing up were white. And I remember like going to like my white friends' households and like everything seemed like super curated and clean and like dinner was served at the right time and everyone ate together. And I realized like as an adult, I realized that I kind of associated those things with like white people. Like oh, like these things are things that like happen in white households because that's where I saw those like I don't know, like cleanliness, organization, I don't know, like this like TV version of what like family life looked like. And now as an adult, I realize like, no, bitch, this is just like, you could have that too. You can have a perfectly curated house and like and the nanny and the housekeeper or whatever the fuck. But like really having, and even just remember we had Zosha on the show and we're like we did Trigger and we're like happily ever after. And she was like white women. And it made me think of that. And I was like, damn, like I did kind of feel that way, like those type of like relationships, that type of family life was unobtainable and like was a privilege, you know, and like it only came like tied beautifully that way in those households. But like, nah, bitch, I'm trying to have the perfectly curated house too with the nanny and like everything's always in place. Like, oh, it's so dirty. Like, no, it's not, bitch. You're like, I know. You know, like that's where I'm at now. Like I realize that that's possible. It's not just for white people, thank God.
So beautiful as you guys are talking about manifesting, right? Knowing what's possible. Anything that I can fathom, anything that I've seen, if I saw that it exists, it can exist for me.
True. And, you know, last year and December's theme was the power of yes. And I remember talking about it in one of our episodes that like a lot of manifesting is saying yes to things and not saying no. And obviously positive thinking and the power of positive thinking, which is a book I'm reading right now. Well, I'm not reading it. I'm actually doing my first Audible, guys, which is interesting because the Audible for that book is not, the voices are not great. So I'm really trying to get past the voices. But I'm trying to like, you know, start my year off in this. I feel like I'm generally a positive thinker. However, I can overwhelm myself and be like, what if this doesn't happen? What if this doesn't happen? What if I'm the type of person that, for me, what I realized in this last year, it's sometimes hard for me to celebrate my wins longer than like 1 hour. Like after an hour, I'm like, okay, well that was great. So
what's next?
What's next? Or how are we going to maintain that? How are we going to piggyback off that to make something else happen? And I'm like, bitch, just relax and enjoy this. And like
tomorrow we'll deal with tomorrow.
Yeah. But also knowing that like just saying so many yeses in my life in the last few years and with Mila and this business and just personally have created my wildest dreams, you know, and being able to invite in the things that I probably said no to a lot before. And like people always ask us like, what is like the secret to manifesting? And there really is no fucking secret. Like it's like believing in yourself or faking it till you make it in ways, just saying it over and over and over again, and action. Like you have to put action behind it. You cannot just fucking wish upon a moon and the shit's gonna turn out for you.
I hear you saying it's not enough to say that you want something, but you have to believe that you are worthy of it.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That you
And
deserve.
you were worthy of all the shit that you just said. Like, did you hear yourself? You're having achievements that are worthy of celebration. Your personal life, your business. Like, girl, tell me more.
I guess that is like the worthy of celebration thing that I need to work on.
Because do you feel that you genuinely like believe that that you're worthy of the wins? Like, because sometimes I find myself like, we've done all these things and then I'm still questioning it. Like, you know, like, damn, you wrote this like fucking 200+ page book. Like, is it good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, bitch, you're already here. Like, you got the book. Like, many people, like, your editors have read it. They're telling you it's approved. It's going to be published. And I'm still like, am I worthy of being here? And I am, because I'm here, but then I'm questioning it. So when it comes out, is it going to, like, are people going to be mad? Or like, you know what I mean? It's just like this constant, just like, even like, oh, we have these things now, how are we gonna maintain it? It's like, if you had the wherewithal to get here, you have the wherewithal to maintain it. And it's just like reminding ourselves that of all the time, because even like in our, you know, our business, I'm always like, am I doing enough? Is Erica mad at me? Like, she calls me, I'm like, hello, yeah, I'm working right now. Hello? You hear that typing in the background? I'm doing a lot of emails. Lots. Emailing my life away.
No.
But I realize that it's that, like, that inner voice that is still working on believing myself, you know. Like, you could have the accomplishments and see it and touch it and like, but it's still, if you don't really believe that you're worthy, then it's not going to hit the same.
Right.
No, it's not. I think that there's like a really good piece to that voice, right? Because we're always like, I just need to like cancel my inner critic. No. But sometimes you do need to look at yourself with a critical eye. But there's a difference between looking at your life and your accomplishments and proofreading your book with a critical eye and being judgmental, right? That voice that tells you, is it good? I'm not sure if it's good, should be critical enough to make you want to proofread your book, should be critical enough to make you want to seek out the people who can help you make it better and who can give you an honest review and give you feedback. That voice should help you be your absolute best. But the compassion and the self-love at some point has to kick in to say, baby, you did enough. And yeah, you're going to read some shitty reviews, right? Like, let's accept that. And yes, some people are not going to like your book. But one, you've done enough right that they even wanted to read your shit in the first place. And this is your first opportunity, and you'll get more opportunities. And the next time you'll be better and do more, or be just as great, or be less than great. But you'll be bold enough to keep fucking trying. The coaching you didn't ask for, because I love you.
Gotta keep trying.
Gotta
That's
keep
the thing.
trying.
I realized too, like, it's in the trying that you build confidence. Once you see like small things happen, you're like, oh shit, I did that small thing, and I can keep going to do that. And then it's just like, it's the building of confidence that no matter what happens, there will be people who don't like some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's inevitable. Everyone's not gonna like us. I mean, what we do in general is very like, we're putting ourselves out there, and I think we kind of like do this so we don't have to think about it, like blindside it, you know, how do you say?
Yeah.
Put
Blinders on. But overall, it's in the practice of saying, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yep.
And I'm going to, that probably wasn't my best work, but I'm going to continue to do it. And then in those like small, you know, like little, you know, building. And then finally you have a building and you're like, oh, because I kept fucking trying and I kept going. And you look back and you're like, oh shit, bitch, we done did a lot of shit in this, you know, since the dining room.
Right.
And I've really realized that this relationship, this business, this vulnerability has really given me the confidence that led me to feeling worthy, you know, like looking back and like, oh, actually I am capable because I've done it. But if I given up or let those like those voices impact me and just said, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything, I would be nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's going to be criticism and it's not going to be perfect, but fuck it.
Yeah. And I love that. You are not for everybody. Because if you was for everybody, you'd be for nobody. And the thing about, like, especially y'all that I love is you speak a voice for the very niche people, and they don't need you to speak in a way that other people are going to be acceptable, because if you guys showed up not fully authentic, what you're telling the women who identify with you so well is, we think to be better received, you've got to wash down some part of you. And that is not the message that we want to send. So when you continue to show up so fucking boldly, like you do, what you say is, if you feel like me, you can live in your truth. You can live out loud. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, so long as you're not harming other people and still have what you want. And that's a lot of how I felt starting Trap Yoga, where people were like, you're never going to get any deals because you curse, and no one's ever going to take you seriously because you twerk. It was just like, well, if I change that, the women who want a yoga teacher who curses and twerks and to feel seen, they'll never have a home. Do I really want to run a life that everybody likes me, or do I really want, like, people who see me wholly, truly, and love me for that? And that's that whole, you got to be confident enough to be vulnerable, to do that, to say, this is who I am. Is there anybody else out there? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you guys have been blown away by how many, is there anybody else out there? And the community that y'all have created over these last few years, right? Like, more women than you ever could have imagined. You've transformed their lives. Just knowing y'all has transformed my life. Like, I know it. So keep doing you, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, we literally built the brand, like, to spite perfectionism. You know, we literally built the brand because we're like, fuck that. And really on some, like, who cares? Like, you're gonna either take it or you're not. And I think obviously it's easy because there was nobody listening, and so we just were talking shit. But, like, it's like, I know this is cliche, but, like, being authentically yourself, which I realize for me, I can't help it, which, but for people who are listening, who are constantly striving, and we all, like, women, there's not all, but even for me, like, someone who can't help but be themselves, I've still had a lot of work overcoming, people pleasing, like wanting everything to be, like, even and nice and just, like, like, kind, really, just showing up a certain way so people will like me, because, I mean, I don't want anyone to not like me, but it's just in the showing up as, this is who I am, and if you like it, it's cool, but if you don't, it's cool too. I've realized, like, I've had this incredible friendship with Erica, with you, and, like, in us being authentic and saying, hey, it's not perfect, but we're going to talk about it anyway, and seeing how many of our tribe showed up, because we're not ever, like, suggesting that we have all the answers. I'm sure I've said a lot of fucked up shit that I probably don't believe in anymore, like maybe 2 months ago. I don't know. I'm changing all the time. I'm evolving. That's the whole point, to be blooming. And even in, like, my relationship, had I not, and I always think of this episode, we had somebody else, and I was talking about my titties being out, and they're like, do you think that's why you're single right now? And then I must have like snapped, because I was like, actually, whoever's my man is going to be so proud to have me, and he's going to know exactly who I am. He's going to root me on, dancing on tables and with my titties out, because he knows who the fuck I am. And, like, a year later, looking back, and I have a boyfriend who's, like, all about the business. Had I not showed up as myself, I would have never been in love and in a relationship with someone who knows exactly who the fuck he's dealing with and what he's going to get. Yeah. And, can imagine hiding yourself, from yourself. You're not even brave enough to be like, what is it that I like? What do I want to do? And B, from someone who could potentially be the love of your life, because you're scared that someone else who doesn't fucking matter may not accept or love you. We are all worthy of love and deserving of, like, peace and love in the highest way. But we can only really receive that if we are showing our true colors to attract our true friends and our true tribe and our true man and our true husband or wives or whatever. But people, like, especially, I don't know if it's like Western civilization, we get so caught up on perfectionism, like, how we look. Does this look right? Like, I'm on camera. Like, bitches have boogers sometimes, it's like human, like every hair is not going to look perfect every time. Sometimes braids are going to get braided on the show, because that's the reality, like, it's just, it doesn't do anyone any it doesn't progress anything to pretend. Pretending is just like
you can't hold up the mask. It's gonna fall off. It's gonna get crooked, and you're gonna get exposed eventually.
Yeah.
And that's when the relationship starts to fall apart, because you're like, wait, this is not who you presented yourself to be.
Yeah.
So it's just about, like, I think even for me, I feel like Mila's, or like she's always kind of showed up as herself. For me, like, I've had to like really figure out like what parts of myself do I love and which parts of myself am I ready to kill. You know, and I think being a Scorpio, like I'm all about like the transformation. But it took me a long time to feel bold enough and confident enough to really step into that space. And I think we're lucky because there's two of us. So there's two of us to kind of like push each other. But then there's women right now listening who, like, I mean, it truly is like, it's an inside job. It's a solo journey. And like, you being a confidence coach, I'm curious to know, like, with your clients who are, you know, basically maybe starting at zero, like, what are tools for someone who is like, I don't even know where to start. I don't have a Jamila. I don't have a friend that's going to like say, push me to try to be my most authentic self.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think for a lot of my clients, they come and they're like, I don't know what's wrong, but something's wrong. And so it's like, fuck, take it from the top, you know? And one of the first things that I do is I have this like 2-hour like conversation with themselves, where we call it a wants and needs manifesto, because you want to be confident, but you don't even know what confidence looks like on you, because when we don't know who we are or what we want, we see what someone else has. A lot of times they'll just see me and they'll be like, I want to be like you. And I'm like, if you ended up being me and you're not me, you're not going to fucking be happy. And I found that, like, when we really deep dive, I had a client who's like, what does confidence look like to you? And Mila, she was like, confidence looks like wearing a short sleeve shirt and being comfortable. Don't have me tell you what confidence looks like, because we did a little wardrobe change and we was coochies out and looking bitches in the eyes and having a conversation. So confidence has to look like what looks like for you. So I think starting off is looking at every role you play in life, looking at every goal you have and saying, is this what I want? Or is this me trying to be more palatable, more acceptable? Is this me trying to follow the bullshit rules of society? So I would be like, step one is to get really honest about, you know, all of those roles. So sometimes I'll have a client who's a mom, and I'll have them do this assignment where I'm like, write down every hat you wear in life and ask yourself, do I want to keep that? And then they'll turn it in and I'm like, oh, you said you have kids, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you didn't write the role as mother on here. And they're like, because that's not optional. Baby, you always got options. And when we're afraid to ask ourselves questions like, do I want to be a mother? Like, because we can be honest as fuck here, right? Do I want to be a mother? If some women look deep inside and ask themselves that question, even though they already had their kids, their answer would be no.
Listen, I mean, we had our friend on, Jessica Rose, and it was a very controversial moment in the episode in general, talking about regretting motherhood and how so many moms do. And it's not that you regret your child, it's you regret the role. You regret the role that, like, you didn't know you were signing up for all the way, because you don't really know what the fuck you're signing up for until you are in it.
Right. Because a bitch was just stigmatized and trying to keep the relationship going, and now 18 plus, because they also lied to you. It does not end at 18.
No.
And so if I get you to fill out the thing and say, one of my roles is mother, do I want to keep this role? No. People are afraid that means that, like, oh, I'm about to throw my baby out the window. I got a safe surrender. No, it's not saying that, but it's saying, okay, this doesn't come naturally to you, but you're in it and you're still committed to it. How can we minimize the pain, minimize the frustration of those sort of things, you know, with your job and all of that? So really, I think my first thing is to get them to face themselves and be honest about the part of their lives they're not so happy with, and the part of their lives that they think is going to earn them love or whatever. Like, they'll come to me and be like, I want a smaller waist and a fatter ass. Why? Because I want to have a boyfriend who spends money on me, and and men always seem to spend money on girls with the fat ass. Because why? right? Because I want to feel chosen. Because why? Okay, cool. So when we get to the end, I'm like, spoiler alert, from one bad bitch to a future bad bitch. Being a bad bitch does not make you more lovable. It just makes you more fuckable. It actually makes your life a lot harder. That's a truth.
That is a word.
And most confidence coaches or whoever, anybody who's selling something, because let's be honest, I'm selling a service, that I feel like they lie to you and be like, you know, have the money and then you'll have the life of your dreams. Get the body. Like, no, bitch. Nope. All I can promise you is to get closer to yourself. Nothing else is going to guarantee you love, guarantee you happiness, none of that. But I can help you palliative care for life. Life is painful. I'm here for pain management. And when you can accept that, like, this is what life is, you can decide what you want to change and be confident about the rest. So, yeah.
I feel that. I mean, I think that's a really big lesson, I think, for a lot of women, especially like, because we often seek outward, right? We're never like really understanding that everything we have is already here. We have all the tools. If you want that fat ass, if you want that small waist, you have the tools for that too. But we're always seeking outwardly and thinking that, oh, if I just had this, then I could have that. If I looked like this, then I would have that. If I did, like, you know, and it's never that. And I know that for a fact, because I know for a long time I leaned on my looks. I leaned on
Fully capable, you're fine as fuck.
I leaned on my looks because that's what people gave to me too.
Right.
They said, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh, this, like, you must get this, you must get that, or you got him because I'm like, bitch, he's cheating on me.
You can have him. Actually, everybody already does.
Like, it doesn't matter. None of those things actually matter. And so I think, especially in the society we live in, it's really easy to put so much value on what you see. Yeah. And often what you see is not what really is.
And it's not what's important.
Yeah.
And that's what I found, right? Because we've been bad bitches a long time, y'all. We've been at this. And as our relationships with ourselves got better, we started manifesting better friendships, better partners, better financial opportunities. So it really couldn't have been, granted, we get finer by the day. It really couldn't have been the looks, though. It had to be something that was happening inside of you, right? It had to be your discernment. It had to be the lessons that you learned to be like, okay, yeah, I'm fine, but I'm also worth more than somebody who other people think is desirable, but doesn't make me feel desired and doesn't make me feel loved. And so a lot of it is believing that you are worthy of those things and turning inside. No matter what, you keep doing the things, you know, pretending so that you can get somebody to accept you. And like you said, the mask is going to slip. Even if you can hold your mask up, you're always looking over your shoulder because you're like, what if they find out? And you're too busy worried about, do they like me, than asking yourself the really important question, do I like this motherfucker? I think a lot of us have done that as women, spent time or been in relationships because a man or a woman agreed to be in the relationship, and we were just so happy to be chosen that we didn't even ask ourselves, did I choose this motherfucker back? That's the piece. And I was talking to a client the other day, and she just was like, I feel just really heartbroken because guys keep not choosing me. And I was like, think of this analogy, right? Like, you're in a store shopping and you're looking for a pair of pants and you're at the fucking t-shirt rack. You know what I mean? Like, you're a pair of pants and you keep putting yourself at the t-shirt rack. Somebody is going to come to that rack and they might like the pants, but remember, they were in the market for the t-shirt. So they'll pick up the pants and they're like, cool. But this ain't really what I want. They'll put the shit back. And here you are feeling like you're not being chosen, but you keep stepping into a marketplace, into relationships where someone's not looking for you in particular. So instead of keep putting yourself on the wrong rack, hoping that you'll get what shirts get, put yourself with the fucking pants, and someone who's looking for pants will find their pants. Like, I did a lot of shopping in Bali, but hear me out. It was a realization that I had, which is just like, stop pretending to be something that you aren't, and you think that no one's gonna notice. But in the switching over to like humans and not items, if you are trying to live, something that I learned is soft life is not for me. I'm not a soft life bitch. I like the idea of it.
Wow, I feel like that's very controversial right now.
I'm not a soft life bitch. I tried.
I tried it.
Do you think maybe you'll evolve into a soft life bitch?
I tried it, bitch.
I have a question.
Okay.
What do you view as soft life? What is soft life to you?
You are so smart. Anytime someone says something, the first question is define it. So on social media, because bitch, I'm not gonna act like I'm not on there watching what the bitches are saying. They're like, I don't make any decisions. Soft life. I don't pay for shit. Soft life. I tend to my man. Soft life. And I'm like,
You can't be soft life all the time.
not all the time. And so I was blessed with this wonderful opportunity where, I was traveling with someone and they were like, whatever you want, make no decisions, we got this. And while I was there, I created work for myself. Like literally the hotel we were staying at, I went to the fucking receptionist and was like, hey, so one of the ways I like to play with the universe is to create win-win scenarios. I would like to exchange some things with you guys. And I'm over here in the hotel room, like drawing up contracts and working because I want to work. I enjoy negotiating. I enjoy ideating. I enjoy some of the yang energy, some of the, business maneuvers and masculinity. And it doesn't mean I'm also not nurturing and inviting and open, but I am hyper productive. I do enjoy my rest. I am a self-care professional, but a lot of that soft life shit, it did not, I read the brochures. I tried it. I was open. It did not resonate. And so for me, I felt like a pair of pants on the t-shirt rack. And so what I was explaining to my client was, you think this is the life that I want. This is what it is. And so you show up and someone accepts you thinking that you're going to be a soft girl, soft life person, but they're used to dealing with bitches who don't make decisions. They are used to dealing with bitches who do not flinch when the bill comes and who is very much like whatever you want, daddy. So they know you'll crack little here and there that you're not fully aligned with that thing, but then you feel rejected when really they've set you free because you're not that. And so I was like, yeah, I probably talk back too much to be like a soft or a docile woman, or like in bed, I'm a full fucking switch and I'm like, my sub is a bratty sub at best. And my dom is very much like, sit down and be a good boy. I don't know if I'm soft life. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it means. Teach a bitch.
So
but
I think
that's how I was feeling.
Like my definition of soft life is not, I guess, that definition.
Okay.
I think that also like you. So you like I'm a worker bee as well, but I realize that like the way that my hope is I haven't mastered this yet. I'm a soft life work in progress. But using my femininity to get what I want, which is essentially soft life, but also, what is it? Hard. I don't know what the opposite of soft life is. Hard life.
Sounds
gang.
Like gang shit.
gang. I think that like there's a balance between the two. I don't necessarily look at soft life as docile. I think it's like moving with ease, using your femininity, your sensuality to nurture, but also get what it is that you want and you need.
Yeah, no, I like that. I feel like I always walk in a room. The way you said it, my brain was like, walk in a room, pussy forward, for sure.
Not pussy
like,
forward.
Pussy forward. You know what I mean? Like,
hello.
So I understand that pussy runs the world, right? And I understand like the fluidity and the openness and receptivity. But to me, that's more on the like the manifesting side.
Do you feel uncomfortable letting a man lead you?
No. I love that shit. Like,
so that's soft.
Is that
in
soft?
this society? Yes, I think so, because I think a lot of times,
I do got questions though. I'd be like, where are we going?
Like we had our neighbor next door. Shout out to Jason, aka Problem. I'm calling him Problem. You hear this, Jason? Your Problem. He said that bitches are making men gay. Girl. And I couldn't help but think, is it because we're like aggressive, or like I think I don't know, you were on the live. I'm assuming it's also because like, we want our men to be soft. Is that what it is?
No, I wasn't in that live very long.
Oh, okay.
He was like praising the women, but also saying a lot of, there was a lot going on in that live thing.
But I think that there's like this, you know, because women have had to show up in different ways and be the father and be the provider, and I think that's where women are kind of like with their hands up, like, I actually don't want to do all of this all the time. And I think that's where the soft life element comes in. It's not necessarily that like you want to just lay there and be fucked and everything to be taken care of and you don't pay for a thing. It's more so like almost it's finding the balance, because we are imbalanced in this society. Sure. Like there is a huge imbalance in the role of man and woman, and whatever that, you know, looks like. And I know for me, I have definitely taken on a more masculine role for a larger part of my life, happily, because I felt like that made me more valuable too. Mm-hmm. And when I walked into rooms, I was going to get respect in the ways that I wanted. But I realize now in my space, because I feel validated, like, okay, I know what I'm doing over here, that I can walk into rooms and I don't have to do that much anymore. I can walk in and I can float in, and my sensuality is dominant. Me being a woman that is successful and a master in my field is dominant. Mm-hmm. And that makes me feel soft in that space. Granted, there's some times where I really gotta buck up on a nigga and say, no.
You gotta let niggas know.
Like, I'll pay for that, actually. I'm leaving. Like, I got it. No thanks. Mm-hmm. You know, and I like that part of me too. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't know. I feel like there's definitely a balance, but I don't look at, I feel like I'm more like you, but I feel like there is a very soft element to you.
So maybe I just am so naturally that.
I think you have a lot of soft life. I think the internet has defined it in, well, there's so many definitions that I've seen, but there's a lot of definitions that I feel like are leaning into like just weak woman versus.
Well, I was gonna say, I think we're in an era of a lot of, obviously there's a lot of like hurt men. Mm-hmm. And I think there's like you said, there's a huge like separation in like the black men and black women specifically. If you're on any type of fucking shade room, you see it every other day. Black women do this and da da da, and like just labeling us as masculine, and like this fucking narrative, feeding us this narrative that like certain men want soft women. And I noticed that you said the word docile. I fucking hate that word, and I don't think soft women and being docile are the same, but I think that women interpret it that way. And when you're a woman that wants to be chosen and you try to like, you start to like do the pick me shit, I think that's where that comes in. Like if you know, make decisions, or you know, buck up, then you're like
trying to be a man.
You're trying to be a man. Like, I don't want a woman who tries to be a man. No, nigga, you got to be real clear with these men, because it's like, do you not want a woman who's trying to be a man, or do you not want a woman who's going to call you on your bullshit? Because I can be real soft and delicate, but nigga, try me if you want to, and you're going to see me be a real different woman. And I do. And the thing is about that is like, I believe like the feminine will fucking get you, you know, like we're like water, you know,
anything that can create can destroy.
Exactly. And we can create. We are the creators. We are God. We create you. We've created humanity through our yonis, bitch. So I think we get really like caught up in the man's labeling of what soft like life looks like, or feminine looks like. And the truth of the matter is, it is balance. You know, being able to acknowledge the balance of showing up feminine, and how I'm going to show up and how feminine, because like, try and snatch a mother's child and see if you don't get fucking shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be a killer for my child, quick and easy. And I also can lay down and be soft and not make decisions. I hate making decisions. My boyfriend has to remind me all the time, like, bitch, you're going to make decisions on Monday. I'm like, okay, it's Friday though. but it's like, don't get it twisted. You know, being soft and feminine comes with being able to be hard and be able to, like, men couldn't birth. You know what I mean? There's this like unique balance, and I just think that like letting a man pay for everything and make all the decisions, and like I think there's a difference between feeding a man's ego so that they feel delusional, and accepting a man that makes you feel safe enough that you can lie down and be delicate and allow things to happen because I trust you and you've created this space where I know that you're not going to like, you have my back. But I think a lot of women, we haven't been in the position to do that because a lot of men and even parents have dropped the ball, and it makes you have fucking trust issues, and it makes you get everything done yourself and taking every fucking grocery bag in one trip. And no, I'm good, I'm fine, and I'm gonna do it myself. I'm not gonna speak up and ask for help. I think sometimes like being delicate is just being able to be like, hey, can you help me? Because now I'll be like in the store like, oh no, yeah, can you help me to my car? You know what I mean? Like I just realized like it's really a choice, and like being able to be wise enough to pick and choose when it's time to buck up, because I can see my scale like slide depending on the situation, you know, because I am pretty soft and I will nurture and I will love, but I will also curse you the fuck out. Like we're in South Philly, you know what I mean? So it's just like don't let these men's interpretation, these very delicate egoed men that there's like a huge uproaring of right now because of Kevin Samuels, etc., Andrew Tate, or whatever the fuck his name is. And on the contrary, there's also a lot of women who are fucking it up for us all. There's a lot of bitches who are like, I'm like bitches who are just like, gimme, and don't have shit to show for it, don't have shit to bring to the table. I see many bitches with all the bags and sleeping on a mat like a fucking air mattress. You know what I'm saying? Like bitches are you know, like let's not get it twisted. There are some fucked up bitches that are fucking it up for everyone. And so there's just like, I think in general, a misunderstanding of sexes and what our roles are. And instead of fucking constantly fighting each other and being on defense about what you're not doing, granted, there's a lot of bitch ass niggas, you know what I mean? But like, you can't go to a group of bitch ass niggas and expect to find a man.
Say that.
You know what I mean? It's like, as soon as you see a nigga's not on the same page, he's not grown up, and he's not like evolving, and he's not showing up as a man, that's, you'll fucking go dry trying to convince a fucking cactus to bloom a flower or whatever. That wasn't a great, I'm not as good as the thing.
Stick with my other bad analogy.
I'm not as good as the analogy.
Cactuses be blooming.
I know.
I know what you meant.
I saw a flower on a cactus. I was like, fuck, you know what I mean?
They be cute as fuck. But
they do, but
you made a very, very valid point though. I hear you. And I feel like there's all this conversation about, you know, what women are asking for from men. And my whole thing has always been the same. Don't ask for what you don't have. That's it. Like, you want somebody who makes six figures. Bitch,
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that too, because we can't both be broke. What are we going to both do together? Like, somebody has to have more than the other.
Work on yourself. Work on yourself a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
Let me manifest my life looking at your life.
I mean, and there is a space for inspiration. There is a space for inspiration. And I don't think when I say you should be looking for your equal, I shouldn't say you guys have to be equal on everything, right? Because there is a need for contrast, and that's what's going to help you grow and help you create more discipline. You know, again, when I got here, I was telling y'all one of the things that I'm grateful about y'all is that y'all not as organized as me. But I'm always grateful for y'all's contrast, because it reminds me, one, to stay on my shit, two, to have grace. And grace and compassion is so important in any sort of relationship. But there are things that you guys have that I don't as much. I love people, but I struggle with the togetherness of it, right? So like, that's also me being accountable to being like, y'all invited me out like 3 times and I was like, yeah, bitch, sleep. So I do still see us as equals, as friends and co-creators. And it's not that we're equal on all of the same levels. When we get on the phone and we're talking about shit, I'm telling y'all, this is how you can move forward in business. This is how we can move forward in life. And you guys are just, by mere existence, reminding me the importance of a counterpart. And so we're still equal. So it doesn't have to be in everything that I have, you need to have in double. We need to have a similar mindset, similar goals, and we need to be able to lift each other up in different ways. Let me be more clear on that piece.
I can't help but think okay, this man has a 6-figure salary. I have a 6-figure mentality, or 6-figure, I'm
a multiplier.
I'm gonna help you invest that, and we're gonna do that together, because I know that I'm a valuable asset to this relationship and to those 6 figures.
And it's like the difference between being inspired and then but then having inspiration versus expectation, basically, you know, and it's like, it's one thing to be inspired by someone. It's another thing to say like, well, I deserve this. You better give me
That
this.
entitlement.
I don't have it, but you do. So
yeah. And I think even on the flip side, maybe he's not a 6-figure earner or she's not a 6-figure earner right now. And we keep telling people like, you can't date off of potential. No, but you can date off a trajectory. You can say your mindset is there. I see you have the discipline, the consistency, and you're moving up. And I'm willing to be a part of that journey. Like, I have to be honest with myself. I'll be like, girl, be fucking for real. I'm a 7-figure earner. Do you know how many fine ass black, I think I'm done with bitches, men? I think.
I'll ask again in a couple months.
Ask me again in 3 months. 7-figure earners there are. So it's I'm not saying like he's got to have as much money as me, but I'm like, he's got to understand and value my desire to contribute meaningfully into the world. So if when I'm dating someone, if I'm like, oh, I'm working, and it's not even impeding on my like ability to spend time with them, but I'm like, I'm working, they're like, oh, you work too much. Last conversation. Because when I was talking to my wealth manager, they're like, what age do you want to retire? And I was like, whoa, why would I do that? I love what I do. I will do what I'm doing in some capacity to my end. And so I probably need to be with someone who understands that my goal isn't to work until I'm 70 and then die at 75. Like I want to retire in small bits now,
Right.
a month in another country, but then 11 months working hard. Like it's the now. So it's not that he has to have everything that I have, but he needs to understand that my mindset and where I'm headed in life, and to feel like there is some alignment in that path.
You know, you said something earlier too about women or people date and then they, you know, to be chosen, and they're like, damn, do I even like this person? Did I choose? But I think a lot of times too, people are like, do you even like yourself?
Start there.
You know, like, do you genuinely like yourself? Because I think one of the things I think about often, or have thought about throughout my life, is like, one of my biggest fears was like dying and not feeling like I was who I said I wanted to be. That scared me more than anything. I'm like, if I die and I haven't even like cracked the code to the things that I want to do. And so it really kind of made me be more accountable about my actions and about my growth, and about, am I being the person that I saw myself being as a child, or, you know, in motion, and like, and does the things the actions that I do and the steps that I take, are they leading to that path? And I think sometimes if we're caught up on just getting stuff and accumulating people and relationships, if you haven't taken the chance to be like, damn, do I even like who I am right now? Am I even close to what I thought I was going to be? And granted, like, our time frame as children is fucked. We're like, I'm gonna be 30, I'm not in the house. No, but like, just understanding, like, overall, do you even like who you are? Because I think also sometimes we're caught up on judging other people, not realizing that judgment is because we're often judging ourselves. Like, oh my God, look how fucking silly they are. Look how stupid that idea is. It's like, because you're scared that your idea is stupid, or you're scared that you're going to look so dumb and silly. And so you project that, you know, onto other people. And it's hard to stop and be like, damn, am I being judgmental because I'm a hater ass bitch? And sometimes you're the hater ass bitch. You know, like, are things making me feel insecure? Do I have an attitude against this bitch because she's making 7 figures and she's shaking her ass at the gym? You know, and I didn't even go to the gym today, but here she is shaking that ass at the gym. You know what I mean? And I think in order to receive joy, you kind of have to like make sure that you're in alignment in your own in yourself.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think to jump on that, until you accept yourself, you will always walk into a room and feel like a fraud. You will always question the people who love you. Because how the fuck do you love me when I don't love me? Either you're lying or you're stupid. Either way, you know, we tend to push people, you know, away for that. And so all of it turns back to believing yourself is worthy of that. How do I know that I'm worthy of love? Because I love me.
So what I've taken from this conversation is that the root of manifestation, the root of, you know, like, really executing this life of your dreams or of your visions, is you have to go inside first. in order to blossom and to bloom, you have to address yourself. You have to be willing to go deep into the trenches without anyone and examine the things, because without that work, you can never attract other things. The work and the manifestation always starts with you. Like, am I drinking enough water? Am I working on the things that make me better? And I think in turn, as you do that, that outpours into the universe, and then you can really gravitate towards the things that you actually see in your mind and feel worthy of them, because you know, actually I like who I am because I've gone within and figured it the fuck out.
No, it's true. And I think also, like, a lot of times women need permission to even begin to do that work. And that's why, like, our retreats are so, like, I've seen the transformations with these women that come on our retreats, because they finally have made the space to say, I am a hating ass bitch. Let me go explore that real quick. And granted, I've had a few women that showed up to the retreat and I was like, ooh, you one of them. And I had to find compassion.
You're like, thank you for the contrast.
For real. And I had to say, Erica, okay, you've met this person before in other spaces and it didn't go well. How are we going to be different here? Because actually you're here to show these women compassion and give them space to say, okay, I want to show up differently moving forward. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of the women that come on our retreats, they come by themselves because that's like, they're already ready to make the first step of saying, okay, like, I don't know anyone here.
The power of the yes.
Yeah.
Just saying yes to showing up is the transformation.
Yeah. It's like
the biggest part of it.
That and like, I don't know anyone here. No one knows me from this or that. I can show up however the fuck I want to moving forward. And the work that we do out there is really about breaking you down, not in a bad way, but like disarming you and taking off the mask and really looking in the mirror. And sometimes it's ugly and like it's scary to do that. But hopefully by the time you leave, you know, you feel a little bit, the sun has kissed your skin and you're like, okay, she's cute. She's got more work to do when she gets home. But we're going to start here, you know, and that's why, like, I feel so grateful to be in that space and in the space of wellness, because, too, it makes me I'm meeting women from all these different parts of the world and different parts of their life has taught me such immense compassion in my everyday life, because sometimes I feel like it's easy for me to, like, have compassion for people when I'm out the country and I don't know these people. It's harder for me to have compassion for people that I actually know, that I actually love. And I'm like, fuck you. But I didn't say fuck you to the woman that was bitching over here in Costa Rica. I said, oh, honey, it's okay. Like, let's talk. Mm-hmm. But to someone who's maybe in my family, I'll be like, I don't really fuck with you. I don't like you. And I'm like, girl, let's try to extend. Let's come back to, like, I try to, like, have the Costa Rica mentality and be like, let's not do that here. Let's try to have more compassion, because everyone is showing up in different spaces and places because of things that have happened or things that they haven't faced. But it's true, like, it's an inside job. You have to do the work inside to really begin to, like, call in what you want outwardly, you know?
You have to be accountable. Let that be the theme for the month, tribe. So you guys can, you know, we had you guys join our fucking open challenge because we need accountability partners. We need as many as possible. We've really been intentional about, you know, just doing this 30-day challenge.
31 day
challenge. More if you started early. And just taking time out for yourself to, like, quiet all the noise and do breath work and meditate and do yoga, because it's in those, like, quiet moments that you get the downloads. It's in the taking the 10 minutes that you avoid the anxiety that is bound to come up when your kids ask you for 50 fucking things to eat 400 times in one day. But the thing is just like, you have to go inside in order to do that. It requires that you take time for yourself. And sometimes we neglect ourselves. It's easy to neglect ourselves. And then we'd be expecting a miracle. Like, no, you have to take the time to channel whatever those thoughts are, because sometimes all of our voices, all the inner voices, are voices of someone else, opinions of other people. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys heard on our last episode that we are doing the open challenge. All of our listeners get the app for free for 31 days. And it's really just joining the challenge by doing one exercise, one practice once a day. It could be like 10 minutes. Like, what's 10 minutes of your day? And just being more intentional and really, like, all this shit, like, has been created because me and Erica decided to be intentional once a week and just show up as ourselves and then say, you know what, like this is who I've been, but I'm tired of that. I want to be somebody else and I want to do things different. And if you've been like following this journey for the last 5 years, you know that we've both fallen a lot of times and we've both like judged and we've both like made fucked up decisions and did a lot of shit, like changed our minds, and we're allowed to do that. But we would never even have the opportunity to do that if we weren't like intentional about taking the time to figure out what the fuck is it that I actually want, and having a friend and a tribe that is like, whatever you want, you like it, I love it, you know. And I just want to encourage everyone, just with this conversation, with this beginning of the year, if you download Open App, join the challenge. It's just 31 days. If you're out here in Venice, they have a live class. We should do a meetup, right? Yeah. We're gonna do a meetup. Stay tuned for that. And we just invite you to be more intentional, to open up your world to manifest even easier.
And if you need a trip, come to Costa Rica, because it's coming up and I cannot wait. And you were supposed to come to our last retreat. You were supposed to come to our last retreat. But we're gonna do that. You're gonna do that. But
intentional.
This menage friendship is about to blossom. Okay.
I know. I loved it when those words came out of my mouth. I was like, the 3-way. Oh, yep. That's what I said. I meant it. Wasn't no fucking mistakes. So we're together.
We're for sure.
But if you feel called,
because we balance each other out.
But if you feel called, definitely check it out. There's still time to come. We have 2 sessions, February 2nd and February 11th, and it's transformational. Like, truly. It is literally like a super restart. It's like the intense restart. It's the masterclass. So click the link in this episode description for more information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jinx.
Oh yeah. Before we leave today, I know our boo got shit to do. She's a very busy professional woman. But she picked a card and she picked the Ten of Swords reversed. You know we usually don't do reverse, but I actually know what this reverse card means. So, shout out to Mahogany Tarot, Kashira, for blessing us with her black and brown cards that we love so much. So the Ten of Swords reversed indicates that you are combating an inevitable change or ending because you're not ready to face up to what is happening. However, the more you resist, the more the situation will continue to drag you. So it's time to rip off the bandage, however painful that might be, and get this over with so you can start fresh. Trust that everything is happening for a reason, even though it may be difficult to understand what you're going through. Know it is leading to your personal growth and regeneration in the long term. Similarly, the Ten of Swords reversed may represent an old situation that ended badly. You are still carrying around wounds from it, but you have buried them so deeply that you do not realize they are still present and hurting you. These old pains need to be dealt with once and for all. It may be difficult to delve back in, but it's the only way to release yourself of this pain and allow it to pass from your life. It encourages you to reevaluate your circumstances and let go of aspects of your life that no longer serve you, rather than dwelling on the painful past. Look ahead and realize how the events free you up to reshape your life and choose a new direction for yourself. You can free yourself of your past and create a new sense of self. Happy fucking New Year.
Happy fucking New Year. I already know exactly what that's about.
You do?
We got time.
Do you got time?
I know.
I don't think you got a lot of time.
I don't got a lot of time, but let me tell you what happened. So, I discovered yoga, and I didn't discover yoga, but I discovered yoga for myself. Bitch, I do make big claims, but I'll be backing them up. But
How old are you, though?
Right, exactly. 2034 to be exact. So, yoga saved my life. It really, really did. And immediately when I really found myself and I found my practice, remember, I was like, I want other women to feel like this. So TrapYogaBae, the brand, the company, took off within like literally a week of me starting. 3 years in, right before the pandemic, I was still touring 10 months out of the year. And y'all, I fucking hated it. Like, I just was so tired. To be honest, I couldn't distinguish who was Brittany and who was TrapYogaBae. Like, I just was like full-time TrapYogaBae and just did not have enough of my personal life. And I had to go back to therapy because I felt like I had betrayed myself. The one thing that I loved so much, my yoga practice, I sold it. I sold it. Every time I would hit my mat, it was never about my personal development anymore. It was, oh shit, I really love this flow. Let me write it down. What song will go with this so that I can teach it, blah, 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 blah. I was so happy when the pandemic happened for the reason of not having to teach yoga. So everyone's always like, when are you going to open a yoga studio? And that would give me so much anxiety. But I still know that my work in teaching yoga was not done. So I really talk about manifesting. In my healing journey, to get back to my mat, I learned to separate my practice, which is why you never even see me do yoga on Instagram anymore. If you notice, people are like, do you teach yoga, bitch? Mm-hmm. But to say, these are the rules of what the universe will have to bring to me for me to recognize and go back to teaching yoga. So fucking amazing. So now, fast forward, I get a call about a partnership and everything that I wanted was met. And my demands were ridiculous. I was like, I don't want to pay for the venue. I don't want to have to hire people. I'm not dealing with set design. It needs to be all profit, profit, profit. I want my face plastered somewhere, literally these, which sounds ridiculous, but is it ridiculous if you can get it?
No.
Okay. So that felt like what the things that are that I'm still letting go of. I'm still if you can hear, I'm not as confident talking about it. Not because it isn't happening, because I'm the louder I say it and the more I say it, I'm like, fuck. I'm opening 4 satellite yoga studios in partnership with one of the biggest fucking hotel chains in the world. And I don't have to worry about so much of the things. I can just focus on doing what I love, which is sharing my practice. Mm-hmm. So I think so many of the wounds and betrayal and hard life lessons I learned through the rise of the TrapYogaBae brand. And I know that that's still stuff that I have to work through, and everything is everything. So thank you for saying that. Yeah. I was holding my heart the whole time.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that vulnerability, because I think some people think, especially people that are experts in their field, that they've mastered everything, that there's no fear. Confidence coaches don't have fears. They don't have insecurities.
That's a big ass claim that I wouldn't say.
I think it's an assumption that people make, so it makes you human, and I love you for your humanness.
Thank you. And y'all coming to a yoga class, aside from the one that I'm going to teach at an upcoming retreat. We're working it out. Yes. But you're going to have to pull up to the Moxie.
No, for sure. We're going to pull up.
Yeah, for sure.
We support our girl.
Well, thank you so much for coming on
the show. Thank you for having me. This was beautiful and amazing.
Always.
And so much gratitude and love. And let's continue to manifest the best fucking lives of our dreams.
Because we can have whatever we want.
We can. Yes.
We will. And
dream
you will
bigger.
Too.
Mm-hmm. Gotta dream big, bitch.
Can you tell our people where they can find you?
Oh, yes. I'm over here making assumptions. Y'all know me. TrapYogaBae, TrapYogaBae, everywhere. If you're looking for me somewhere, just fucking Google it. I'm pretty sure I'm there.
She's there. I Googled her.
And make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Please, please, please make the algorithm lean in our favor in 2023. Make sure you check out our retreat at the Good Vibe Retreat on Instagram.
It's the perfect way to start the new year, release some shit, have a transformation, meet new friends, go out of the country, be titties out, barefoot in the beach with us. And if you're looking for a podcast studio, join us here in lovely, sunny Studio City, California at our new studio, where you can also have this beautiful set.
Yes, you can. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.